now you got the Cowboys. Obviously, you were front and center talking every single day when Emmett was holding out. This does look like it could be Emmett 2.0 with Zeke, although, I think Jerry does realize that maybe this team needs Zeke more than that team needed Emmett, and he's going to get something done. I wonder what you think, Chris.
You would think so. I mean, Jerry learns like everyone else. Jerry's very smart. It's not like, okay, I'll never do that again. Well, these are different circumstances in his eyes, and I'm not even close to being aware of what, other than the dollar sign and the length. I mean, there's probably other things that's preventing this from being done, and you make a good point. Is he more? It's hard to say anyone was more important than Emmett was to them, because that was always an asterisk, right? I don't think they won any preseason games, and if you didn't win any preseason games, at least back then when they were playing more, you weren't going to the playoffs. That was like a 2/3 non-playoff result if you were 0-4. You wouldn't think so, right? Well, they didn't have Emmett. I don't think they won a preseason game. And then they were, that's the 0-2 start. But the asterisk was they didn't have Emmett, and now they did.
Right.
So is he more important? Well, he's equally important. And the way that team is built with that line, when they get away from just handing him the ball, I go back to his rookie year. Remember the Packer playoff game? All of a sudden they were throwing and dipsy doodle, and they were behind like 21-3 before they knew what was happening. And there's the biggest example of, if you don't run a horse behind a really good offensive line, which can wear down everybody, what do you have him for? So I would like to think, now who knows what kind of shape he's in if he gets signed Thursday before the opener, Rich, but I got to think that he's not sitting like Le'Veon Bell. I don't think so. It sounds like you don't think so either.
No, I mean, Le'Veon didn't have a contract last year. Zeke does. I mean, both did obviously lose money. I just find it hard to believe that Jerry Jones wouldn't get something done and just cough up the few extra million that he might be trying to hold back because of whatever Zeke did off the field and use that to his advantage in some sort of negotiation. I think he's just going to swallow and just make sure that this kid is in. And I think they can win the Super Bowl this year, Chris. I really do. They're that good defensively.
You do.
I do. And Dak made it to the second round last year. So it's entirely possible that they can do it this year. But Zeke's got to play all 16 in my mind.
Yeah, he does. Their defense is coming, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
And you're right. Dak now has been in there. You would think just any team losing Super Bowl always has a slip. That doesn't mean that the Rams are going to slip some, but maybe they're not as formidable. Maybe the Saints, look, I mean, who knows? Yeah, they got jobbed, et cetera, but, I mean, at some point, does that have a negative effect? Not the same as Atlanta, who, did 28-3. I mean, they haven't been late in the playoffs. They did make it once, but these things that don't go your way, even if they should have in New Orleans' case, by the way, there was more game to play. They weren't ahead then. So if the best two teams, Rams, Saints, we think are going back a little, the NFC seems to be the one where there's more room at the number one and the number two teams, right, whoever we think we are. Whereas in the AFC, I mean, yes, you could make a case that New England and Kansas City are not 1-2 or 2-1, but it's harder to see them falling back in the same way that the Rams and Saints by a couple of wins. That's kind of how I sit on August 27th, but an unofficial Swami just through the binoculars at this point, Rich.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.